Hi, everybody. This is Jeff for the Mortgage Minute. Thanks very much for tuning in. As life goes and as business goes, sometimes it just catches up with you. It goes over and over and over again in terms of squeezing your time and what you really want to get out. So, consequently, I haven't been on in about a week. And boy, I tell you, the time just flies. There's been a lot of things in the news. Let's get right to it. Let's talk quickly about interest rates. I think they've been affected somewhat, but not negatively, since taper, and we'll talk about that in a sec too. The 30-year fixed rate is 3.12, 2.52 for the 15. The FHA is at 2.75, 3.10 for jumbo, and 3.00 for the 5/1 ARM. The 10-year is at 1.53. These are all averages, which we look at. There are a couple websites we go to, as well as just our general knowledge of what's going on in the industry. So taper began, yes it did, and we're looking at $10 billion a month from the $80 billion that they're spending or buying for treasuries, and the $40 billion they're buying for mortgage-backed securities. We're talking $5 billion a month. That's lessening the amount that is going to be purchased and should be ending the entire taper process by the middle of next year. So it's slow, but by all means not really that slow. And so what's going to happen to interest rates? We will return to more of a normal look at the 10-year, i.e. the 10-year will describe or show to us what's going to happen for rates. And rates have been and still remain incredibly low, although not off they're off their lows by about a quarter to 0.375. Rates did improve today. Let's see, the new unemployment claims. Yes, that will come out tomorrow. We are probably looking at 450,000 new jobs added, and the unemployment claims actually are the lowest point during the pandemic. Both of those things fly in the face of what we also hear is that there are 10 million jobs going out there unfulfilled. A couple articles I read today that describe the labor market as tightening. So this is odd, right? If we have a lot of the labor market, which is underfilled in terms of jobs, mostly it's in the service sector, but we have key jobs that are in either tech or biomedical or other, maybe financial services. Really haven't gone down the list yet because I haven't seen it. But if they are tightening, it means that wage inflation is happening, and that may be the driving engine behind all of the inflation that's going on out there. Certainly, if you're looking for a job right now, it's a good time, especially if you're in those industries which are in high demand, as I mentioned a couple of them a second ago. Wage inflation, yes, touched on that. Zillow, okay, so I was one of the first people, or probably one of the many people, who thought Zillow should never get into the home flipping business. I hated the iBuying model. A couple other companies that are into it still open door. But the idea that Zillow, which created a marketplace of instant information, and then people went to Zillow to see what the Zestimate was for their home, obviously overestimating it because the algorithms they used to iBuy were certainly overinflating the value of those assets. Zillow is out of the iBuying business. What is iBuying? They will buy your home within a couple of days. No selling your home, and their particular algorithm which values homes or prices homes, that's what they were using for that particular thing. Not a good, obviously, way to do it. They are out. They're going to be out. I forget the total number of dollars that they're going to be out, but they're not going to be in the business anymore, and that's a good thing for local investors, people who would normally buy and sell houses, flipping. I have a couple of flipping friends in the Las Vegas market, so I know something of it. I've done a couple of flips myself. I like that being a small investor, not institutional investor, which leads us to my next point, was back in 07, 08, we never saw that shadow inventory come to the market. Why? Because large-scale investors, hedge funds, insurance companies, sovereign funds came in and bought block numbers of houses and then turned them into rentals. It's been a great business model for these people that they've seen both their rentals being paid and also that the equity in the homes have gone up. Well, do we want to see that now? We're seeing Zillow. I think they're unloading, I don't know how, I want to say 40,000 houses across the U.S., maybe more in the iBuying model that they're getting out of. So what happens to those? Well, they're also looking for bulk and buyer to come in. I'm of an opinion where I think that they should be released back to the market and let them sold through normal channels and normal processes processes. Problem is that the foreclosure process to kick out tenants who haven't been paying, or the reverse. What do you do when you're buying? You can't zestimate your own particular properties and come up with a correct price to sell them at. It's a problem. I think, as I said, going small rather than big is better for the market and for the country. More housing on the market is better. We'll see what happens. One last thing. Nope, that's it. Anyway, I'm Jeff Barton. I'm your host here for the Mortgage Minute. We're on LinkedIn, Facebook. We're themortgagevoice.com. That's a radio show that we do, and you can see that on YouTube. Jeff Barton, The Mortgage Voice. Thanks very much. We'll see you next time.